Well, hello everyone. I'm back in the closet again, in the closet, but out the closet. Intimate conversations with OrenLyric with my special favorite guest, the Miss QT Catering herself, Miss Quanta Houston.
Hey
Come on and say
y'all.
hello.
Hey y'all. I'm in the closet too. In the closet, but not out the closet.
You
Ain't that
out,
what you
you
said?
you out the closet, in the
Okay.
closet, but out the closet.
Oh,
So you're not in the
gotcha.
closet no more, because you're doing things.
Okay, so
You
in
you're a
but
business
out.
owner. See, before you was in the closet because you was not really doing what you're supposed to do with your destiny and your
Got
future. You know what I'm
you. But
saying?
then when you
And you was
walking in it, you out.
right, and you was
Got you.
you was hiding your talents and your
We
gift.
outside
But
now.
you was like, I'm out here now. I'm gonna let people know who I am. I'm about to make this your money.
Yes.
Well, I want to say that I'm so glad to have you
I'm
in here
glad you have me
today.
here with you.
So she is like my sister. She like my sister. Well, I'm older than her, but she like my big sister.
Yes. The big
Older,
little sister.
big
How
little
about that?
sister, right? And it's been a lot getting her to this point. I'm trying to tell you, every guest, it's like it's been something trying to deter and deter and deter. But if you saw my video about plowing through, you got to keep plowing. So she
Yes.
had a situation today. Before we get into her interview, she was coming to the interview today. She was coming to the studio to be in the closet with me for we can have this interview. And
Car trouble.
car trouble, some with the pipe and the fluid and done.
I was like, devil, get behind.
Right. So I called and I had a doctor's appointment today. So I went to the doctors and everything like that. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do this. I'm coming to get you.
Period.
And then I'm going to bring you back home. So that's something you all got. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. That's what you all got to know. When you have something to do, don't let nothing stop you
From what you got to do.
from what you got to do.
Yes.
Go sit down. I'm sorry, y'all. My dog. He
Get
always
in with
wanted to be
me.
a part of everything. Sit down, Duke. Sit. So y'all met Duke in my last video. So keep plowing. And
Yes.
we're here today because I have to interview her. She has a story to tell, and she's going to be able to inspire you all. So Quante,
Yes.
you already know your name, but give everybody your name and where you're from.
Okay, Quanta Houston, originally from Virginia, but been here for a while, military brat. So my dad is from Georgia, mom from Virginia, so that's why we're here in Georgia.
And you know what? I didn't know that you were born in Virginia. I thought y'all was born here in
No,
Atlanta.
I was born in Virginia. We moved here mid 90s when dad retired from the military, so like 91, 92.
So you're like a military brat. Did you get to travel a lot with him being, or y'all didn't really travel too
You
much?
know what? We traveled more with dad because he played on a softball team
Okay.
in the Coast Guard. So like that's when we went to New York
Oh,
with
okay.
him, stuff like that. But he traveled a lot.
And we're
A
going to
lot.
talk about her dad today too, because I want to get into something, the importance of father figures. And I didn't have a father. I did have a father figure in my Uncle Andrew. Shout out to you, Uncle Andrew, if you're watching. But having a father in the home and what she went through today was proof that her daddy loves her,
Listen,
and just
one
coming through.
call. He was like, "It's okay, don't worry," because I was ready to jump off the
Right.
10th Street Bridge. I've been like, "Or come meet me at the bridge," because that's where I'm
Right.
at.
Let's fix this and bring this a little down so
Okay.
it don't be rubbing on all on you. Yeah. Okay, that's
Okay.
it. Okay.
But yeah, fathers are very, very important. Like my dad is always there for everything. Him and my mom and
Yeah.
my in-laws. I
Yeah.
just got a really
A
good
good circle
circle
of people to
support.
and that's important.
Very
That's
important.
very important. Do you think that was important? Because we're going to get into the businesses.
Yes, 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 yes,
You think that was very important having that support system that got you to this point?
yes. It was because it kind of makes me. That's how I am the way I am with my children,
Right.
because the way I grew up and seen my parents. So it kind of makes it like, okay, this is how I grew up, so I want to make sure and assure this is how my kids
Right.
have it. Yeah, so
And she
that's
has
why
a
I go
wonderful
hard.
husband too. She has
Yes,
a
my
one. She
hubby,
has
I
a
love
wonderful husband.
him. Haywood.
What's up,
Mwah.
Haywood? That's big, bro. We love Haywood. So, adverse situations.
Okay.
I'm sure you've had many. Yeah, I'm sure you have many. Like I know you, but I don't know everything about you. But I know.
Right.
But we gotta let the people know. So, what brought you to this point? What adverse situation made you say it's time for me to start to make some changes to bring my life, full
So
circle?
you know what? I can really say my my weight,
Okay.
health.
Hmm.
Probably about actually on Valentine's Day will make 7 years for my weight loss surgery.
So what kind of weight loss surgery did you have?
I had the duodenal switch.
So what is
that's
that?
where it's kind of like the gastric bypass, the sleeve, and then another surgery. So they remove like 20% of your small intestines that stores fat.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then they still remove partial of your stomach. So I want to say that was a really, really big thing for me because I was almost 500 pounds.
So what even got you to that weight though?
So found out when I was pregnant, I had preeclampsia and hypothyroids, I want to say, and it runs on my dad's mom's side.
I ain't no doctor, I don't know, but you tell
them. So basically means that when my hormones were all over the place, I gained.
Oh, so it's more of a thyroid issue. Okay,
it was just like all of a sudden I was like, how did I get this big? But I would have never knew if I wouldn't have got pregnant. So my pregnancy kind of triggered my thyroid.
So what did you have to, did you deal with any depression, anxiety, being overweight? Or?
I can put it this way. I was always the heavier one. My sister was always the smaller one.
Right.
But I could never tell the difference because he always showed us the same look.
Kind of love, right.
So it wasn't like, oh, you need to lose weight. None of that. Like, even when I lost weight, my dad, every day he was going through and he said, baby, you just get so small. And it was like, because he loved me for what it was. Even a lot of my friends was like, Tay, we never knew you were that big, because when you love somebody, you don't even really look at that.
So what I want y'all to do is go to James West on Facebook and tell him, I saw your daughter on Intimate Conversation with OrenLyric, and I heard that you're an amazing father, and send that man some encouragement. You know what? Because a lot of us don't have that. My mom had to do it all by herself, and with the help of my grandmother, and but she had to do it all by herself. So every time Quanta talks about her dad, I just get like, never envious, but I always feel like, God, I wish I had that. But, my father did what he could do based on his situation. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not holding nothing against him.
Some people don't have, like, Valentine's Day, my dad was the one that brought teddy bears and flowers to the school. So it was kind of like when you would meet a guy, like, okay, you got to really come
right and come
all the way correct.
And I guess Haywood did it, huh?
Yeah, yes, he did.
He knocked you up?
My man. My man.
Haywood, don't hurt me, Haywood.
But it's fathers mean, like, my daughter loves me.
Yes, she
does. She is obsessed with her dad. She loves daddy, like
daddy's little girl for real.
Yeah. So
and that man don't play about them kids, brother. Don't mess with that, brother.
Listen, you from the West End too?
You from the West End, baby, in Atlanta.
So
how was it growing up in Atlanta, Georgia? And what changes have you seen from a child up until now?
So, I wouldn't say Atlanta. I'm like, I ain't from Atlanta. You ain't from Atlanta.
Okay.
But grew up in Griffin. So it was more on the countryside. Like, we were, 45 minutes from the city?
Mm-hmm.
So, Dad always made sure we grew, like, we learned how to drive in the backyard because we was on land.
That was some country stuff.
We had the Christmas tree farm next to us.
Because your mom and dad do have a lot of land now. Their houses on, they got a lot of acres.
So
of
we
land,
learned how to parallel park between the fig trees in the backyard.
The first time I had fried legs, her dad cooked them for me. At
first,
yeah, because I was like, I don't think I would like nothing like that. But then her mom made some potato salad. I mean, she made all the she put the hot sauce stuff on the table. See, I be telling people I'm really just a nigga from Newark, New Jersey, and family with their country roots in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Yes. So I was down with all of it. You know, so I just had never had the fried crawler, but it was good.
Yeah, Dad eat everything, rabbit, deer. You be like, Dad, where do you get this from?
So let's get back. Growing up in Atlanta, I mean, Griffin.
Griffin was kind of like really country. It's far away from the city. So after I graduated, probably about 2 or 3 years after graduation, I moved to the city. So when I met Haywood, I was in Sandy Springs. And then we've been in Marietta since the kids were started kindergarten. And they're going to high school this year. So.
Okay. So what people don't know, they may not know. They probably know. Your background is in the Church of God in Christ.
Koji, Pentecostal.
Through and through. And mom and
dad. Skirts down to the floor. How you got to wear a slip under a jean skirt? I never got that because you can't see through it. But yeah, Pentecostal. Pentecostal. And that was, let me tell you this. I appreciate it now, but then it was like, dang, mean, we go to church 7 days a week, every day, all day. But I mean, I thank God for it now. I mean, I wouldn't say I've strayed away from a lot of things that we were taught, but a lot of stuff that was taught, I wouldn't do it with my children.
The more the religious and tradition,
More of you find God for yourself.
making them
Not you
independent.
have to be,
Yeah.
you have to be, you don't do this, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. No. I want them to know God for themselves. You have a relation, because it's all about a relationship.
I call it making them spiritually independent.
Right.
You
It's
know?
not saying you got to wear this or you got to look this certain way or you got to look. No, your relationship with God is your relationship.
So did your faith, and being a part of the church and God in Christ, how did that form you? Was it all good? You know what I'm saying? Was there,
So let me put it like this. When I turned 18, I was like, I'm never going back to church again. Because I had been in church my whole entire life.
Right.
But I can truly say faith is basically, everybody can say all day, I have faith, I trust in God, I do. You don't know what that means till you have no choice but to trust in Him. When you have no choice but to have faith. Because when you don't have a way, what else can you do?
So let them know about some times when you had no choice but to trust.
Okay. So Haywood was in a really bad car accident in August. Right now it's been a little over 6 months. So we went from a 2-house income to really no income. Because in the beginning it was me, I couldn't even really work because like he got hit by, a cement truck.
Yeah.
So
And so y'all, as I learn how to edit more, I can start popping up pictures because actually she did show me the pictures. And let me tell you something. It was the grace of God that he's still alive.
he's still alive.
A truck hit him and it tore his truck to pieces.
Like a crumbled up, like a piece of
When
paper.
I saw it, I said, God, now I know you're real, but I know some more that you're real. But I was so glad because I love Haywood like a brother. But when she actually sent me the pictures, I was just like, Lord have mercy.
Listen.
That boy got God on his side.
Yes.
But go ahead.
So it's like when bills don't care about what you got going on. They don't care that you was in a car accident.
Sure.
They don't care. They come every month at the same time. Stuff got to be paid. You got to feed your kids, clothes, just life.
Mm-hmm.
And since August, it's like, okay, God, I have to trust you. I can't trust in nobody. And don't get me wrong, I've had a good support system. God done led people just randomly. Hey, I was thinking about you, cash out. Thinking about you, cash out, this. If I need something and they have it. I have really, really good friends and a good support system, but it's like, for majority of the time, it's like, no, you got to trust in God. Because
Right.
people still have their own life,
Right.
bills, and things going on. So, yeah, my faith really been faithing.
So do you feel like God is trying to increase it?
He
Or
has
you feel
increased
like increase it, yeah.
He has increased it because it's like, okay, before it was like, oh, I trust in God, I believe in this and this, but that's easily said when everything's going
Perfect, right.
Perfect.
It sure is. You can leap over walls and run through troops, as the Bible said, because, but
right.
when life start lifing and things start happening, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start being around the world and start walking up in there,
Yeah.
it's going to see what you're made of.
It's gonna really test your faith.
It's really going to test your faith.
Like when you sitting there like, okay, I don't have no way out of, like, how is this gonna get done? How is this gonna get done? And then things start happening, this and this and this. So after the first 4 months that I done got through this, now I'm like, okay, God, you got it.
Right. So let me ask you a question, because people may want to know. Coming from such a, I want to use the right words. Coming from such a staunch Pentecostal background, such as the Church of God in Christ, and then you started to have a different ideology, not changing in Jesus Christ and salvation, but believing different or seeing things differently. And, coming from, and I know your family, so I know,
I realized that, and this is just that conversations that when all of us get together we have. They only taught us what they were taught. Not to say it was right or wrong, but they taught us what they were taught. So they were taught you couldn't go to a basketball game, or you couldn't go to a football game, you couldn't go to prom, you couldn't go to the movies. That's what they were taught.
Right.
So you just
And
have
meant it
to.
too.
It meant it.
Yeah,
Meant
that was life or
every
death. Those things were life or death. You
yes.
know.
So
Hmm.
it's kind of like when you get to old enough and you get the knowledge, you just have to know for yourself, like, and choose the places that you go. Like,
Right.
it's all about choices.
Right.
That's how I feel. Don't put yourself in a bad situation where you know bad things can happen, and bad things can happen even in a good situation.
Hmm.
But all I'm saying is don't go to the
Don't go all the way to the left, right? Yeah, because
right.
life is about choices.
Hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And you have to think. You have to know what's conducive for you, what's not. Environments that are good and are not good, and different. So, you having a different mindset. Did they come at you like you going to hell, Quante? How you know what I'm saying? You wrong, Quante. What are you doing? You know what I'm
So
saying?
no, I don't think so because now even it's crazy because even now stuff that my mom does with my kids,
She didn't
she
do
didn't do with us,
it.
and I be mad.
So you
Mama,
you
you
let
didn't
Mother
do.
West evolve too?
Yes,
Right.
and she just realized that that you can live your life
And
and
don't miss
still go to
God.
hell and don't miss God.
Message. And let me say, remember I told you all before, stop blaming God for the mistakes of others. It's not his fault because we all have free will. And I want a lot of you all to know that because a lot of people are leaving God, don't want to have nothing to do because of the mistakes of other or just people knowing what they knew in the time that
Right.
they knew it. And you got to understand something. When you're being taught something and it's telling your life is in a balance, that could be very, very
And
fearful.
sometimes it be us blaming, and we got to sit back and it's you.
Bing!
The light bulb just
I
went.
gotta give me a bell. Boom! When people
Yeah,
say something like,
sometimes it's you, and you
hmm
just gotta be like, okay, reevaluate yourself. Like everything bad isn't the devil. Is not.
hmm
No, you. Sometimes you put yourself in situations
yeah,
that you could not have put yourself in.
right,
But now that you're there, you can't blame people. You just gotta
right,
say, you know what, I'm gonna get up because I made this mistake. It was me,
hmm
and that's the thing. Like accountability.
hmm
Like don't be afraid to say, you know what, I messed up. I'm in this situation because of Tay.
hmm
Not because of Oren, not because of nobody around me. It was me. So
hmm
I got to get up out of my situation and do what I
yeah.
got to
And
do.
accepting responsibility is a sign of maturity. And I think even within our society, would you say, especially with a lot of these young people, because I know a lot of them are coming from adverse situations in the
Mm-hmm.
home, especially, drug addiction in the home, gang violence in the home, just abuse in the home. And, they're just acting out, what I'm saying, not really having any real structure
Right.
and, no real parenting, right?
Right.
And so they're doing things, and when when you talk to them, especially me being in mental health and you talk to people, it's always the other person's blame.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to me and what happened to me. But I do want to tell y'all, nothing is going to change in your life
Unless you change it.
until you change it and accept that it was you who did it. Because, if you've been abused, like I've been through sexual molestation, and
Right.
that's not something I'm afraid to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But did that give me the right to go around and start doing the same thing? No.
No.
I never did that to anybody or anything like that. But how I got over that and made peace with it was like, this happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
You got what I'm saying? I have to
Right.
accept that this happened
It
to
happened
me.
to me.
I got to
Right.
forgive who did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to move on. And you really have to. But when you do things, like, when I was getting arrested and stuff like that, my mom, like, no, I'm not going to get him. You staying, you going to sit in there.
You're going to think about what you
Yeah.
did.
But I
Right.
had to realize it was me who got myself in it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But now as a grown man, I thank my mom for all those hard lessons because, would you say too,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I don't regret anything. Like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. We had a home-cooked meal every day. We never like daycare after school, none of that, because my dad made sure that she could be at home.
right.
So I'm very, very thankful for, like I said, she taught us what she was taught.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a baby that's born that's Hispanic. They don't have to be taught how to speak Spanish.
Yeah, they learn it in the home, right?
It's learned because that's all they hear. So when they hear a Spanish word, you don't have to say that means no. No, they know that what that means. You see what I'm
So
saying?
did you venture out when you was in church? Did you have those, a lot of us stray away, what they say we strayed away.
Baby, I
Did you
strayed,
venture out?
strayed.
Okay, you strayed?
Yes.
How straight did you stray?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you, it was to the point me and my sister used to come in the house tore up. It didn't matter. My mom was like, all right, Sunday school in the morning. She didn't even probably know we was tore up because my mom probably had drunk one drink her entire life. And that was with my dad.
Right.
So it was like, it's kind of like you stray, but at the end of the day, you know what God has for you and who you are. So straying still gets you right back to where you at. So it's kind of like the older I got, it's like, okay, I know what I have a relationship with him. It's like, okay, I know I don't need to be doing that.
Right.
Maturity.
Right.
Growing up. Like, I know I shouldn't be in these places. I know I shouldn't be doing this, Lord, as bad as I want to. But it's all in growing up, because when you're younger, you do stuff because what? Your friends are doing it. Everybody going to do this, you doing it, Not saying a follower, but just like, okay, y'all, we're going to the club, cool. Are we hanging out this weekend? Cool. But it's just like, I think when I said I didn't want to go to church anymore, I really, that's when I developed my own personal relationship with him.
Right.
Because I still prayed, I still read my Bible. I just didn't want to physically
be there.
Go.
Right. I understand that.
Because we was born on the front row on the pew. I was over it. But now I enjoy going to church, and it's because I have a relationship and understanding for myself.
Right.
So if someone says, hey, you can't do this, and that's what people got to realize too. To me, I feel like a lot of people say you can't do this because God has dealt with them about what they don't need to do. If he tells you not to drink, you don't drink. I'm not finna sit here and look at somebody crazy because they got a glass of wine. If he dealt with me and said, hey, I don't want you to drink, that's my relationship with him. That's what he told me.
Right.
So if you have a drink, that don't mean you going in.
No, you're not. That's definitely not what's going to take you to hell.
So I just feel like people just have to get a relationship with him for yourself. That's all I say.
And like I said to you all, I'm bringing different people who we're going to meet so many different people on the show. Yes. Okay, we really starting mild, to be honest. Yes. But this is your walk with God is definitely one of you and Him. People don't realize that it's not really. It's very personal. It's not about you, your preacher, your family. It's really about personal. You.
Because when you go to Him, He's not gonna speak. Now He can speak to you and say, "Hey, I want you to say this to your sister. She need to hear that." But at the end of the day, still, when you tell me what He says, I still gotta go personally,
right,
and deal with what you said and process it personally. I'm not gonna go and tell her, "Oh, it's so." No, that's a personal thing. And if people understand that it's personal, one-way street.
So let's go back. You grew up in Griffin. But y'all definitely, when you come to Georgia, every city is Atlanta. But people that live in those other cities want you to know that there are other cities that exist.
Yes, that exist.
And it's not all of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But you spend a lot of time in Atlanta.
Yes, because a lot of our churches that we fellowship with, like Uncle J Church was off Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta.
Tell them who your uncle was. You want to say who your uncle was? Murphy J. Page, Powerhouse.
So he
rest in peace to him.
He was Cleveland Avenue crystals. Oh my God, that's why I love crystals. We about a sack full of crystals every time we came to church. Jesus. And then we learned about Marietta because Granny fellowship with Raymond Moss.
And who was your grandmother? Who was your granny?
Well, Janie Mae West.
Yeah, Janie Mae West is his grandmother.
And then my other second granny was Granny Pace.
Mother Pace. For those of you know Mother Pace. Mother Pace.
Yes, that's how you gotta say.
Y'all know.
And she fellowship with Bishop Moss in Marietta, so then that's how we kind of learned about the Marietta Diner, and when we would go to his church, we would go to the Marietta Diner afterwards. So yeah, you can say most of my childhood we were
in Atlanta, right?
In Atlanta.
And so you were just talking about, and we're going to get to, Quanta runs 2 businesses now. She's becoming the soul food queen out here. Her name is going all over. Say it, what's the name of it? QT Catering. We're going to get more to that, y'all, because we're building, okay?
Yes.
we're building, because I want you to get to know, because like I said, her story will influence another young woman or young man out there that has been through similar or non-similar. You have a lot of men who've dealt with being overweight You got what I'm saying? Have to go through surgery. I have a cousin right now who just had.
Yeah. And when you're
a
overweight,
surgery.
you can't. How can I say? You can't really live to your full potential that you want to live.
Right.
Because your weight stops you from. Like when I was heavier, I wasn't going grocery shopping. I'm gonna grocery shop for what I need for that day.
Right.
Cause by the time I walk around, I'm tired. I'm looking for one of them little buggies, but you know,
Tired Tay.
I'm tired. I'm tired. And see, I've always loved to cook, but the heavier I got made it harder because when you cooking, you standing up, you move. Cooking is like a.
Wait, is my light still turning blue when I talk?
Yes.
Okay, because you
Is
know
mine?
what? Yeah, yours is
Okay,
different.
yeah, yours is.
Yeah.
Cooking is a job. Like people, when I have weddings and events and stuff, I be tired.
So let me ask you this before we go in there, before we get to that. Would you say being in church, because you mentioned something, you know, Uncle Jay would take us here to eat, he would get this. Then, of course, we know growing up in church, those after Sunday meals or those programs, I mean, the food, I mean, you can smell it. Sometimes you be trying to praise God and you be like, I smell the fried chicken. You know, I'm ready to get up and get me some chicken and you can always smell the fried chicken and the green beans and the for some reason you can always I don't care what else was there.
We gonna eat. We gonna eat.
No we gonna praise God.
And we gonna eat.
Especially you done shouting and praise God all about 2 services.
Don't work. You got all your cardio.
You done got
it's like I would eat everything.
So saying that, so you would say, where did your love for food come? Before we get into you actually being a caterer and preparing meals for others, where does your actual love for food come from? Because one thing, y'all, you can feel the love in her food.
In Virginia, I would sit back and watch my grandmother cook, my mom's mom. And she loved to cook. She was one of those cooks, like Thanksgiving dinner, you better not go in nothing. And my dad used to do it on purpose to make her mad.
Right.
But I would sit back and watch her cook. Then, when we moved here, my Granny West, my dad's mom, Janie Mae loved to cook. And Granny cooked so much to where she got to the point where she didn't even like eating her own food because she cooked.
So much.
So, sat back, watch her cook. Then my mom, like I said, every day, she cooked for us every day.
Every day.
And you know what? Have a love for that.
That's a blessing because, you know, and let's remind you, a lot of kids don't get meals every day. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. My mother definitely cooked. Let me tell you, my mother would cook mostly big meals on Sunday. She made sure that we did. Because my mother was a hairstylist. So she was off on Mondays. We would get the big meal. Tuesday to Saturday, my mother was in the shop. And my mother was always working for herself. And she was a teacher in a beauty school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to cook because I had a little brother.
So it's like, Mama not here, I got to cook.
And, you know, a lot of times she would get us something take out. But, you know, when you're a single parent, but that's what I want you to hear. So many different sides. Her mother was able to be home. You know, they have that family unit, her dad, and her mom was able to cook. Because you have 2 other siblings. And we're going to shout out Champ and Jasmine. Hey. What's up, you guys? Love y'all. So your mom cooked. So you said she cooked every day. Go ahead.
She cooked every day. So, like, even now, well, it's Friday, so we probably eat out. But I make sure my schedule is to where I can cook for my kids majority every day. So and they love it. So Neil get off the bus and she be like, "Mom, I smelled the food from the bus stop." I'm like,
now
that's
some
greedy.
Cooking, okay?
She
smelled it from the bus stop. That's some cooking.
But and then it's crazy because my auntie had called me the other day and she just didn't even know how I needed to hear it. And she was like, "My auntie Betty, I love you, auntie," and she was just like, "You know, you remind me so much of your grandmother." Like, and she didn't even know. Like, before I cook, I anoint my hands, I pray, and even when my mom helps me with all, like when I have a bigger party, you know, that's my little assistant.
Right.
Like, she be ready to get paid. So
ready. My mother West said, "I ain't working for free, baby. I love you, but I need my queen."
Yes, but we do every time we prepare, like. We've had events where we're cooking for 400 and 500 people.
Tay, don't go ahead of this interview.
And we pray.
I know, but don't go ahead.
Okay, but we pray, and God makes it so.
I'm her brother,
smooth.
Right.
Cause I always have to have this lined up, this, but it just calms me, and it's like, don't get frustrated. And before you know it, we cooking food. This getting done. So. Very important, like you said, like how we prayed before the interview. It's very important.
What your mom cooking dinner and your siblings, your mom, dad, y'all, what was the importance? How did you feel, being able to sit
Being
around?
able to sit down every day with my siblings and eat. And see, dad was there more on the weekend dinners
Mm-hmm.
because he was in Alabama commuting back and forth from the Coast Guard. So he was in Alabama through the week, Coast Guard here. Then when he retired, he worked for Ford and he worked at night.
Mm-hmm.
So mom would still cook. He had his dinner to take with him, but it was just being able to sit down with family.
Right.
And you already know when you come to the house, that's what I love.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
do.
like to cook
Yes.
and sit back. Sometimes I don't even eat. I just like to sit back and watch y'all.
And let me tell you, it be a smorgasbord. Like I'm telling, like it's a spread. All them big silver pans. You can go back and go back. It is never gone.
And you go back
I
how
keep.
many times?
I go back as much as I want
So
to.
he apologized and be like,
Right.
"Can I get some more?" I
Someone
be like,
take.
"Keep eating, keep eating,
Look,
bruh."
it be food in pans, food in pots,
And to go play.
to go plates, and you can take it, and then we just there talking, laughing, just
Yes,
having a good
it's
time.
fellowship.
Right.
So that's what makes me even love it even more, just to sit back and watch people just really, because some people, like you said, they're so busy they don't
Yeah.
have a home cooked meal.
There was a thing, Tom, they used to call the family table, and it was important because years ago, black families would sit down and eat with their children. The family would come together, and it was so fun. We don't really have that no
We
more.
don't. I even practice now with the twins. I'll be like, put your phone in your room. We sitting down. How was your day?
Right.
Let's talk. Because if we all at the table, like,
And that way
that-
you know what's going on with them.
and that's what it is.
'Cause-
That's why I have conversations with them. Like, people don't understand. It's very important to have conversations with your children because you don't know what they're going through or what they have going
Right.
on. So yeah, I'll be like, leave your cell phones in your room. Even when we at my mom's house, she's like, leave your cell phone. Talk. Let's
Right.
talk. Let's
So
see
y'all
what-
get back to family dinners.
Yes.
Even if you single parents, make the time to sit down with your children and eat with them and talk with them. One thing my mother did, she always talked with us. And her thing was on Sunday, I'm gonna take y'all to New York. You can get whatever you want to get. Come on, we're gonna eat a nice dinner, and it was great. But growing up, being my cousins and a lot of us being in the inner city in Newark, New Jersey. In the summer, we would get sent to Jacksonville, North Carolina.
which is a country.
Yeah, country. Jacksonville's country
Right.
in North Carolina. But my great grandmother, when she cooked, we all had to sit at the table and eat together. You got what I'm saying? And I remember those times, and I love those times. It would be me and all my cousins around the table with the Tupperware plastic cups. You remember them? All different colors. We drinking
Listen.
Kool-Aid, and she done made black eyed peas
And
fresh.
see, everybody didn't
Loved
have
it.
that because,
They
like,
didn't.
when
They
I met
didn't.
my husband, he grew up in the hood. So his mom was alcoholic, his dad's recovered, but he was just like, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, you come to your parents' house and y'all eat, and I'm like, yeah, that's a thing for us. Like, that's Christmas, Thanksgiving.
But
Yes,
for
we-
most people, it's not.
It's
For the
not.
majority of people,
Majority of that.
it's not a
It's
thing.
not.
It's,
Like,
it's
the
not.
first year, because my mom still buy gifts for us like we little kids.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I got presents. I'm like, you see us under this tree, don't you? You better come on.
Yeah,
and
hey,
call
well, you
in.
gotta give
You better
too.
get with it. So he's even, my mom they even have him spoiled on that. So now he be looking for his gift.
His
Like,
gift.
where my gift? Well, mom and daddy give that for me. So, like you said, everybody has different situations. So he didn't have that. He was like, Christmas was just Christmas. He was like,
Right.
half of the time, he said, as a child, he didn't even remember having a Christmas tree. And
Wow.
that was our thing. Like, we
Wow.
cut down a Christmas tree every year. Even now, my mama's Christmas tree be big as this apartment.
Yeah.
It's like, Mama, how did you and Daddy get this in the house?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this year she got a small one. Jason and I was like, Grandma, this the real tree? I said, Mama, don't do it again. Next year, go back to the big one. But it's like, everybody doesn't have that. So that's very important to me. Family, I'm very family oriented. So
You're really
Yes.
big on that.
yes.
And I love that about her because I come from a big family too. So being around them was just, especially moving here, it was amazing to be and go and have those dinners, especially after church and everything like that. I looked forward to it. Sometimes I would call and be like, "Hey, you cook?"
You cook?
Yeah, it got like that.
Look, and he outside waiting
Yeah.
already. I think there's Oren out there. I'm like, Oren, yes, I cook. Come on in.
I'm like, "You need me to get anything?"
Yes.
No, just come on
Come
in.
on
I already got
in.
everything. I'm like, "All right, I'm coming."
Right.
So it went from granny to your mom, seeing them cook. So you understood the joy of cooking,
The joy of
and
cooking.
what it could do to
And
people.
what it can do to people. And cooking is it's easy. It's simple. If you love to do what you do, let me put it like this.
Now you know
Like
some
a
people,
person that loves basketball, it becomes easy to them.
but you know some people can't even boil no rice, but when
They can't.
They
So
can't.
they don't have love. They need just.
they need to learn,
They need to just go and get them some shrimp fried rice from Lucky Dragon or something.
Yeah, don't burn it up.
Don't
Anyway.
right. But when you have a love for something, it just becomes easy. So me, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my food. Like people can be at the house and I'm like, oh, I messed this up. I'm ready to throw it away, and they like, girl, don't you throw that away? We'll eat.
Don't
Look,
be nothing wrong with that.
we'll eat it. But
But you're a perfectionist.
I'm a
You are.
perfectionist. So it's like,
Yeah.
even if I'm doing it for y'all when y'all come, I want it to be perfect. It's like, okay, this a paid gig because that's how.
And it's really
perfect.
good, y'all. It's
I want it to
really,
be. I love
really,
cooking,
really
y'all.
good.
I love cooking.
So I want to get into the granny and all that. You understand the importance of that. I want to talk to y'all how much she actually gives. I had an event for my business, the Resurgence Project,
Yeah.
and she cooked everything. Her along with her mom, and those people.
Oh my God, they ate, y'all.
They ate.
They ate, and it just seemed like
And we didn't think we was gonna have enough. Remember?
Didn't it seem like God multiplied?
It did. It did.
It really did. We cooked a lot,
Yeah.
but for the amount of containers that we were sending with the homeless and all the kids.
Yeah,
them
them
kids.
kids. Yeah, they hadn't eaten. I think they said hadn't eaten in about a week or so. It was about 10 children
From the same household.
from the same household, and she got the to go like, so they was able.
Yes.
Her and her mom was able to load all
Load
the
them
kids.
up
Yeah.
with food to
I'm
make
running
sure.
around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to
we
make
made
sure.
Look, y'all gonna eat for the next 2-3 days. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, and that's how I do. Like anything that I ever done, it's like when I go, I'm like, okay, I know I cooked a lot of food, but this seemed like it's like God multiplies it and makes it to where it's more than. And that, like the Resurgence Project,
Mm-hmm.
everybody who came left.
And
with
she
food.
is our food service coordinator for the Resurgence Project, even though she has 1,000 other things, because her businesses are growing, but she's still going to be cooking
Yes,
food for these
I'm
people
gonna
at
be
my
cooking
program.
for y'all. Y'all just
And I
come
want to
down
say
there.
something to you all who's going to reach out to her. Make sure you reach out to and hire her. And the reason why I wanted her on, because sometimes you hire people, they don't have love, they don't have the right motives and intention. She does. And I can tell you, when she comes into your home, whether it's private catering
Yes.
or for big people, it's so much love in it. And I'm telling you, the people were saying, you can feel the love in this food.
Yes.
And yeah.
Even the kids kept coming back. Can we please have more? Can we please? I'm like, of course you can. Like they ate till they were like.
So hire my girl. And I ain't playing with
Period.
y'all.
Period.
It's good. And
Yes.
and it's down home. She be in her kitchen cooking this, y'all. She ain't cooking
Let me tell
down
you, cooking
all night. I'm always
down.
going to be so grateful to you.
Yes, thank you. I'm grateful for
And
everybody.
anything I do, I'm always going to mention your name and bring you into it because
you already know.
Yeah, because she was really good. I mean, like that was a lot then.
Right.
Okay, so how did you come up with the name QT Catering?
Okay, so
Because you're a cutie.
period.
You know you a mess, Quanta. Though.
Look.
This one right here, she a little vain.
But look, no, because like I said, the more I lost weight, the more I started cooking.
Right.
Start cooking. And people be like, who you cooking all that food for? And I'm like, I don't know. Tay, I'm coming to get a plate. Come on, y'all. I'm just cooking. So
When I first met you, you had cooked.
I cooked. That's when I
You
met
did,
you.
yeah.
Yes. So
You
it's
cooked,
like
yeah.
cooking is always like
That was a long time ago. It was about 11,
That was a
12
long
years.
time
11,
ago.
12, 13 years now. Okay,
my
go.
best friend. You know Dorian.
Yeah.
Talking about you.
What's up, Dorian?
Dorian. So I met Dorian when I was 7. He was 9.
Okay.
I can post something. Dorian at my front door with a to-go plate. Sis, I just came to
'Cause
get
we
me something
black.
to eat.
We
Right. I
black.
just came to get me a plate and I'm going back. Hay would be like, Dorian out there.
And she had the most understanding husband,
Listen,
y'all.
he be like, Dorian out there. So, it's like, I love to see people eat my food. And I
You
love to just, I just love
But
to
you know,
see what
I just thought about it
do.
now. You do. We are eating and you just sitting there.
I never eat. I wait till y'all
I
leave.
just thought about you do. You be sitting there
I fix me a little
looking.
something and put it up. Yeah, because that just makes
But
me
it appears that
motivate
because
me.
you be handing us plates, you be
fixing
handing us
plates and
condiments,
everything.
give it. So it seems, but no, you don't be. I never even
don't
realized
eat.
that.
I sit back because it's the joy of seeing everybody smiling. It's quiet. Oh, my stomach growling. I'm hungry. What we cooking after this?
We gotta get us a snack.
snack.
I might gotta treat her to a
Oh,
snack.
period.
Look.
Look, period.
Okay, so how you come up with the name QTK then?
You know what? Me and Haywood.
Okay.
And it's weird because I had DL,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Cuz, I'm gonna make you an Instagram because I've never been social media. It just be sometimes too much."
Right.
He was like, "I'm gonna make you an Instagram page." I was like, "Well, DL, I don't even know the first step." He
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Just send me some pictures of your food," and he was like, "What name you want me to put up there?" And I'm like QT. Haywood was like, "Yeah, put QT Catering." And he did me a logo. You know, DL, you can send him something. He'll
Yeah.
do it in
Shout
5 minutes.
out to
D.
DL
Lamar.
D Lamar Martin.
Yes.
Shout out to you, my boy, who good at graphics,
Beats,
beats,
music,
music recording,
dope
studio. Get you in it.
analyst.
Amazing, amazing,
Yes,
amazing. Like
multi-talented.
my flyers that y'all saw for the Resurgence project, all that was all his doing. Even the videos, the promotional videos we
Yes.
did for it, that was all him. So can you say that was a really a big stepping stone to getting your business out there when he suggested
Yes,
that? Because marketing is important.
he did me an Instagram page, and as soon as he did me an Instagram page, one of my classmates, Barney Jackson, I love you, Barney. He hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I didn't know you cook like that." And then he was like, "Well, yeah, because I remember when Mama used to cook when we was in
Hmm.
school, because we would go on field trips. Mama frying this chicken and everything for our field trips." So he's the one. I promise you, like it's good when you're good to people and you're just genuine. He was like, "I got somebody who need." He got me my first catering gig, and he's got me several after
So
that.
let's shout. So what I did with Rashad and I also did with Chef Cole is to learn how to do this. Let's do this. Celebrate people and don't be envious and thank them
Yes.
because guess what? One I said this last time and my mother told me this, been telling me this my whole life. Remember the road you travel.
Mhm.
Remember everybody on that road and be very circumspect about those people and remember who was good to you because you may have to travel that road again.
Again.
But let's get back. So we
Yes.
thank you for making sure that
Yes, Barney. He
people
did.
Barney people
So
started to
he
know.
got me my first gig, and it was
Hmm.
for a birthday party, and
Hmm.
we went to, and that's what was amazing about it. They had an Airbnb, and it was brunch, so we went there and cooked everything there. So of course,
What you
Mom, we
say?
had on our little gospel music, and we in there,
Uh-huh.
and everybody walking by. Oh my God, everything smells so good. So after that, that was my push
Right.
for motivation. And when I started saying, "Hey, I do weddings, baby," been a blessing ever
And
since.
it's just been going and going and going.
Yes.
So the DL did the Instagram,
Yes.
then your friend started talking. So how important is word of mouth for a business owner?
Very important. Because let me tell you this, the first gig that I got for his friend, someone else who he knew saw that and wanted me to do her baby shower.
Mm.
Then when I did her baby shower, somebody there was like, "Hey, you cater? You have cards?" So I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm just starting off. Like, let me get on Vistaprint right here real quick and get me some cards. So it's really a lot of things that I have done have just been meeting people, connecting with different people.
Would you say good business etiquette has to go along with because the food could be good, but if you don't have good business
And
etiquette,
that's another thing. Everybody be like, "You always have mom with you. Y'all personality. Y'all so sweet. Y'all cater to the people." Mom, and then mom's best friend, Aunt Linda, she always come with us. So I always take those two because in serving, you can't have a bad attitude.
so don't be an asshole. And I said it, she didn't, so
Yeah,
y'all don't play
you have to have a really, really sweet spirit because if we're here, food is comfort for some people.
it. It
And if
is.
you
It's
come,
therapeutic too.
it's therapeutic. And if you come with a bad attitude, you don't know what they're going through. No, I want my food to reach people. If they're going through something, I want whatever they're going through when they eat, they like, this made my day better. So I can't expect that if I got people with me that are nasty and
And
rude.
cantankerous,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Because you can feel people's spirit to their food. People don't believe that, but you
you
really
really
can.
can. You really,
Yeah.
it's just like a toddler can tell when people's spirits aren't right.
Mm-hmm.
A baby will get with you and start crying. Something ain't, that baby wasn't crying before. Something ain't all the way. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, I always every event that I go to, I take them with me, and we like I said, we can do weddings with 250 people. Us three gonna work it like I got a whole staff
How
with
do
two
you cook for
people.
250 people? Like what? Take us through
Oh,
what that actually looks like before we
prepping,
get into part two.
prepping, prepping is very important.
Now, I remember when you catered for my event, You said, Oren, I got this. I got the 2 people's gonna help me. I don't need nothing else, right? That's a lot of food to do for you and your mom. And yeah.
So prepping.
Okay.
And so if it's something that I have to do where I'm gonna need vegetables, I always prep like 2 days prior to.
So time management has to be.
Time management has to be made. I always make sure I grocery shop and have everything 2 days prior to the event. Because last minute, that throws me off my, especially when you're preparing for a lot of people. And just kind of, when you first start cooking, you got to know, okay, this feeds this amount. This feeds this amount. That's why when we did yours, I was like, he want to do black eyed peas, okra, cornbread, collard greens, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, y'all. I went
I
off.
said, no.
I was thinking about my stomach. I'm sorry.
I said, we'll cook that for you. For the people, look at this. Going back to research.
Something
For
that
the
can-
people,
to make them full.
we're going to do something that's fulfilling. So we did baked spaghetti. And you see how it stretched?
It did. And you had a couple pastas, didn't you?
We had baked spaghetti, green beans, and dinner rolls.
And dinner rolls, right.
And it was simple. Because when people are coming in hungry, they don't care what
Yeah, because they were homeless and like it was like low income families, like I said.
Yes. Like one
So-
lady came in there with what she had 4 kids.
4
Because we
kids,
did
yeah.
the free haircut. Oh my God, that was so awesome.
Well, we're not here to talk about the
I
Resurgence
know,
Project. We're here to
I
talk about
know.
QTK because we want to she's getting business, but we want to get her more business. It's not about me right now. It's definitely about you. So I want to stay focused on QT Catering. But, so that prep time and just you let them.
Prepping, making sure I have everything that I need, making sure that I communicate with them with what they need.
Right.
Because every event is different. Some people say, hey, I need you to bring chafing dishes, or hey, I already have chafing dishes, hey, I need you to bring this, I have serving spoons, hey, but can you? So even with pricing, that's when pricing changes too, because some people want you to cater and serve. Some people just want you to cook, drop off, and they have their own service. So I do it all.
You do.
Yeah.
And very efficient too.
Yes.
See, you gotta realize now it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And what you get with her, because I'm just gonna speak. More people are gonna start calling her after this interview because everybody knows about intimate conversations with OrenLyric.
Yes. And everybody love to eat.
Everybody let it right. But what you get with her is a whole experience actually.
Yes.
Her talking to the people. Her mom is so sweet. I mean, who don't like the mama there being
Yes.
sweet and they're talking to you, serving the food and making sure and not nasty when you serve it.
Yes.
And making
I
sure you
love
get a good
serving
portion.
Because even when people come to my house, I just love serving.
And you don't skimp on those portions either, baby.
Oh no, baby, we do double.
You get
okay.
you
You
get
want
a
double
plate.
blessings, we get double.
You get a
portions.
plate, like
Yes,
you get a
heavy
plate.
plate.
You definitely gonna be full, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I just try to manage and don't get overwhelmed. Because I do. If I get overwhelmed, I get frustrated. So that's why I make sure that preparing for something, if it's Saturday, every day I'm saying, okay, Monday I'm going to get this. Tuesday I'm going to get meats. Wednesday I always have everything written down because that's how I work. I have to
So
write down.
QT Catering is expanding now.
Yes.
Are you starting to feel overwhelmed?
No.
Why not?
Prayer. Just God.
Prayer
Uh-huh.
will fix it for you.
And my mom. Like, if I have something going on, I'm like, Mom, I need you. She was like, I was already praying before you called. She beat Jesus up. She be waiting on him like, you ready? Yeah. So just prayer and just having help. And Haywood, he is my biggest fan.
So let's talk about because when I did Chef Cole, I asked him the importance of having a spouse that supports you when you're a business owner. How has that benefited you? What has been the blessing in having a supportive spouse?
Because he already know when I cook, okay, baby, we got to load up. He's there. If I need him to help me chop up, dice, whatever, he's there. He always say I don't pay him, but he there. He's very supportive. I'm like, you be listen, and he's my sample guy too. Like I can always be like, babe, how this taste? And he'd be like, you need this or you need that. So he's very, very that's my number one supporter. Like,
And your spouse should be, because it would be a lot harder if he wasn't.
If he wasn't, like,
Right.
why do I? At that point, I'm like, what?
That shows you the importance in picking the right person,
Yeah.
because they can either be a blessing or a complete hindrance to you. And maybe, sometimes don't rush. because you want to
Yes,
make sure
because
you're with the right
with the
person.
spouse, you want it. Even if it's something crazy,
Hmm.
I'm gonna still support you. Even if I know when you tell me, I'm like, oh, I don't think this gonna work.
Hmm.
But it's all about the support. It could work just from you supporting.
The spouse just being the voice of reason as well too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, that Haywood is definitely supportive. My kids are supportive. Everybody around me supportive. I'm just blessed to be around a bunch of people that aren't negative.
So you were telling me on the way here that you're now over your church's.
Yes, the culinary department in my church. Pastor
Tell them
Stephen
the name of your church. Give them the name and
Driver,
the address of your church.
LT. It is in Griffin, Georgia. I don't know the direct address. I'm gonna have to go back and give that to you.
Okay, we'll
Or
give
I'll
the church
post
name.
it.
Yeah, she'll post it.
But it's LT is in Griffin, Georgia. Pastor Stephen Driver
It's
and
called
First
Living
Lady
Waters.
Cicely
Is it Living?
Driver.
No, the name of the church. Did you say the name of the church?
Yeah, ALT.
Oh, okay. What's
Yeah.
the name?
Or don't put me on the spot.
She loved y'all. Or y'all at her church, she loved y'all. You know,
Pull up
it's a thing of the
ALT
mind. We getting
on
old.
Facebook.
Tell me your pastor's name.
Stephen Driver.
Yeah, I heard a lot of wonderful things about him. So if you're in the area,
Yeah, and
go
First Lady
check him out.
Cicely Driver. We're in Griffin, Georgia. Sunday services at 12:15, and then Dad and Mom do Bible study because they're co-pastors.
So look at this out. I just thought about it. Now you're cooking in church like your
Yes,
grandmother and mom used to.
yes. Like when we have events at the church, I love it.
Hmm.
Like cooking and serving. I'm
What's
like
some of your favorite dishes?
soul food.
Mm.
Bake some good smothered baked chicken with some green beans or collard greens. Homemade cornbread with a little drizzle of honey on it.
Mm.
Oh, loaded mashed potatoes.
Mm.
Oh, and my Cajun turkey wings, they
I just
good.
had an orgasm. It was too many I'm sorry to all my saints.
I'm
Look,
done.
I got everybody that watch me, right? So all my saints out there, you know, dog, forgive me.
Y'all, come get one.
But good food make you feel like I heard that it's
Yes.
like certain foods, you know, can bring certain. But we ain't getting into that. We're not talking about that. But it do. But her food is good, y'all. Like it just make you feel good. And then when you at her house eating, you just want to tell all your business while you eat.
You know what?
'Cause
I'm a therapist.
I
and
think I done
everything.
told
But
her a
y'all,
lot
Abundant
about me
Life
eating.
Tabernacle.
There she goes. That
ALT. I don't know why I had
she
a
had a
brain
brain
fart
fart.
real quick. I was like, what does it mean?
She had a brain fart.
Yeah. But Abundant Life Tabernacle, y'all.
So y'all, we have about 4 minutes, and we're gonna conclude this, and we're gonna come back with part two. You know what? Everybody been doing a part two. So when we get in part two, we're gonna get into her business, how you can contact her. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? I'm believing that she's gonna be able to go state to state. Blah blah blah. You
Yes.
know? Would you do out of state catering? Somebody pay you,
Yes.
right?
What?
All right. So there you go. If you in
Yes.
other states, and you know, I know a lot of y'all that have businesses and organizations. I know a lot of y'all hit my girl up. Make sure that money right so she could come to your state and cook up something. You'll really love it. You ain't gonna be nice to her now. She's not kick you. But anyway, but before we end part one, I'm really enjoying this.
Yes.
Are you enjoying it?
I love it. I love this whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
We in the
yeah.
building.
We're in the building. But before we go, so now you're cooking at church.
Yes. I love it.
How does that feel cooking? You know, now you're cooking for the people you worship along with, outside of the people that you cook for, you know, when you're handling business.
Oh my God. It's very important that your church family, you know them outside of just when you worship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Pastor Driver gives us that. Like, we don't do just worship at church. Like, he takes the kids to the water park in the summertime for Easter. We barbecue and go to the park. We out there fishing. We actually are getting to know one another outside of just worship. You want to know people. I don't want to just see you on Sunday and be like, hey. And I'm not saying we got to be personal business, but it's good to also fellowship with them outside of those four walls. And I'm learning that.
I like it that you're not just talking the love of God, but you show the love
You
of
show
Jesus.
it. You have to.
You
have
you
to.
show it.
You have
show
to.
it.
You have to, because if not, it's like people be like, I don't want to eat your food. You're mean and nasty. I don't want to eat.
Nobody want that.
Nobody want that.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any time when you serve somebody food and you end up having to minister to them or encourage them?
Yes, because let me tell you, and it wasn't even me, it was Mom. One of the girls at the Resurgent Project had walked in, And it's like, you know how you kind of feel. You could tell she was kind of, I want to say more embarrassed of shy, because she kind of just sat down. So mom walked over to her and she was like, "Are you hungry?" And she just started talking to mom. She was like, "I didn't even know what I was gonna eat today, like how I was gonna eat today." And then mom was like, "Well, you know now." She was like, "And we gonna make sure you eat the mom and the we gave she had like 3
Yeah.
to go plates. Mama loaded her. I'm like, "Mom, we can't get her all the food." Mom was ready to get her a whole pan. But within that moment, what if we would have been like, "Oh, she looked like she," or not even approached her? She probably would have got up and left and still been hungry. But just, you gotta show people love, and you gotta look past what everything. Cause I'm not even gonna lie to you, that was my first time being around Sister Frantic. Bob, like we had a lot of different
Go
people
ahead, say
came
it.
up in
Yeah.
there, and you never know what they're going on or what triggers them. Because one of the guys, he ate, but then he didn't want us to put his to go plate in a container. He wanted his food on the plate that he had. So, mom, mom, she old school. She was like, "Well, why you want in container?" I said, "Mom, that could be just, I don't know what triggers him. So let's just wrap it up in aluminum foil." And we did, and he was just the happiest person. But it's like you gotta see and notice things like that. So that was even a different experience for me, because I'd never been around
People with all those different
with all those different
mental disabilities.
issues. So it made it even like, okay, you got to show even more love to this group of people than you would the normal group of people. So.
And I want to say thank you. Y'all did a wonderful job. Y'all did a wonderful job.
It was awesome.
Y'all did a wonderful job. So what you're basically saying is that it's more than just cooking the food, preparing the food. It's what you put into it. The spirit behind doing all of it.
Behind doing all of it. Because at the end of the day, people aren't gonna just say, "Oh my God, your food is good." They're gonna, if you have a bad attitude, it's either gonna be, "Oh my God, I want her to do this for me," or "I'm gonna refer her to this," or they're gonna be like, "The food was good, but her attitude sucked."
Have you gotten jobs based off of your name alone, based off your character, before they even taste the food?
Yes.
That says a lot. Listen,
Yes.
people.
Yes, when I did an event for Zania's friend mom, and we were just out and about, and we were talking, and however it popped up, she was like, "Oh, y'all take cater," and they were like, "Oh my God, yes, her
QT
spirit,
Catering?
yes, her spirit is so sweet." So I ended up doing an event at her school, and they had only about one of them had my food at her house, but she got me the event at the school. Them people had never ate my food, but the director met me at her house and was like, "Her spirit is so sweet."
So be nice to people. It gets you jobs.
It does.
I mean, doors were opening for her, and people want before they, because a lot of times people want to come and taste and experience. Especially if you spending your money, because I mean, it costs to cook for people.
Yes.
And you got to pay these people that's taking their time to cook. And now this recession that we're in, food is expensive.
Food is expensive. And in that event, it wasn't even a paid catering gig. I sold plates and sold out of everything, just because people were like, even DL, the drummer at his church, was like, "Hey, hit me up. Tay, I'm having a biker event. I want you to sell food. If it's okay." Those people never met me. They bought the pans.
So y'all, what she's saying is good character in business.
Yes.
You got to have it. And I'm sure you ran into situations with people where you had to be like,
you have to woosah, but you still be kind, and you stay stern on what you say, and don't be rude, but just stern, and they'll get it.
So we have 1 more minute left in part 1, right? And then we're going to come right back with part 2. But for this 1 minute, I want you to tell them what are best business practices when you have to cater for hundreds of people.
Being consistent with yourself, because if you're all over the place, your business is going to be all over the place. So being consistent, knowing what you want, and knowing your worth. I tell anybody with a business, know your worth. If you don't want to pay me, you got to pay somebody. And I'm not going to underbid myself when I know my worth. I know my food is good. I know you're going to come back. So just know your worth. Everybody know your worth. Learn your worth this year. That's what you got to do 2024.
So as we end part 1, know your worth.
Know your
You
worth.
feel me?
You feel me?
We'll be right back.